Yo, what up, everyone? We are in here. I am barely awake, barely surviving, but I am in here nonetheless, man. It is 5 a.m. for me, unfortunately. But I did promise you guys that I'll come on here live to give some live commentary of this fight. So I wanted to at least be up here for the main event. And it looks like I made it just in time. As you guys come in, make sure you guys hit that like button and get ready, man. Get ready for an undisputed fight at 140. And let's see how it goes down. Also, you guys probably see by now the poll here in the chat. Go ahead and let me know what you think's going to happen. What is your prediction? Make sure you vote and let us know before the fight starts. I'll probably end the poll here in the next few minutes. So go ahead and get your votes in. Let's see here. So it looks like they're doing some homage or some dedication to Scotland right now, leading up to the fight, leading up to the ring walks. That is, obviously, we all know Josh Taylor from being from Scotland, fighting in England. So there's a lot of heritage here, a lot of pride here, and a little bit of rivalry as well, which is always fun to watch. Omega Red, first one in the building. I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. Rod Dodd, the Prophet, B1 in the building. I appreciate you guys, the first two in the building today, man. I respect you and thank you for coming in. Omega and Rod Dodd, who do you got winning this fight, man? Let me know before it starts. We're getting ready to introduce the names and do the ring walks. Kenneth Johnson in the building. I appreciate you. I will be scoring the fight round by round, so let's see how it goes. Jaron Davis, what's good, bro? Looks like we're getting Catterall's about to enter the ring right now. So it looks like I made it literally just in time. Just in time for the main event. It's 5 a.m. for me, man. So glad I made it in here. Looks like Jack Catterall. He hasn't fought since 2020. It's a big layoff for him. Massive underdog, obviously. If he's able to pull this victory off, I mean, it's a huge, huge upset for sure. The input. Yeah, man. I mean, I didn't talk too much about this fight leading up. I was distracted by a lot of other big fights. I didn't really spend too much time talking about this fight, but you know, Taylor's obviously undisputed for a reason. He's got a lot of tools in his toolbox, got a lot of different skills. But I've watched a few of Catterall's fights, man. He's very tough, bro. He's very, very tough. I don't think he's gonna lay down easily. I think Josh Taylor's gonna have to at some point probably dig deep a little bit. I do believe that Josh is a more skilled fighter, but when you get these type of like fights, it's kind of like a grudge match. It's a rivalry. It's Scotland, England. There's a lot of rivalry involved. Sometimes these are some really, really good fights. And I think people saying that Josh Taylor is going to just come in here and steamroll this dude. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a little bit tougher than what people think it's going to be. But with Josh being the better skilled fighter, Josh has more on the line. I think he'll pull it out. Man. Volts UK in the building was good. Mr. P Depps in the building. What's good, man? Yeah, haven't seen you in a while, bro. Good to see you, bro. Yeah, the poll's up in the chat. If you want to get a vote in, get it up before I take it down. Let me know what you think. Who's going to win this fight? We actually got somebody in here that said Catterall by stoppage. I don't know if that's, I mean, if you voted for Catterall by stoppage, let me know in the chat. I don't know if you're in here trolling or being for real. I mean, I don't care what your opinion really is, but Some people like to come in here and just troll, though. I think the under is big. It's like plus. It's like plus 600 or plus 700 for Catterall. I mean, it's huge. So if you bet on Catterall, man, and he pulls the upset, you're gonna make bank. I promise you that. You guys come in, man. Hit that like button. Let the people know we're in here talking boxing. Josh Taylor about to make his ring walk. I gotta find a damn pin. I'll be right. I'll be right back, y'all. I gotta grab a pin. All right, ready to score this fight round by round. Both fighters are in the ring. They're about to announce both fighters. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I nothing against the UK or anything like that, but I hate these fights in the UK, man. It kills me where I'm at, bro. 5 a.m. for me. But we got to get it in. Got to get it in. Make sure you guys have already hit that like button. Let the people know we're in here talking boxing, man. Let them know. You guys know how I get down when I do this live commentary. Also, if you guys can do me a favor, if you're not watching the fight live, let me know here in the chat so I kind of have an idea that there are people actually just listening to me as this fight is playing out. All right. Introducing Jack Catterall, 26-0, 13 KOs. He's from Chorley, England. He's ranked number 2 from the WBC. It's kind of crazy. He's like the number 2 and the number 1 contender, but he hasn't fought since like late 2020. But nonetheless, here we go. They're about to introduce Josh Taylor. Raw Dog listening to the commentary, not watching. That's what's up. I appreciate you choosing Divine Sense, bro, for your commentary. Arturo in the building. What's good, bro? Yeah. Let's do it. MStacks85. That's what's up. Yo, I'm about to stop this poll in the chat, man. If you haven't voted, vote. In T minus like 1 minute, I'm going to stop the poll. So if you haven't voted, let the people know what you think. We actually got some people in here thinking Catterall is going to pull the upset. The people love Josh Taylor, man. Wow. I wonder what kind of reception he would get if he came to America and fought. I wonder how many UK/Scottish fans would come down and support him. All right, guys, they're in the middle of the ring now. Referee giving instructions. We got Marcus McDonald as the referee. And here we go, man. Round 1 about to begin. I will be scoring this fight round by round, excuse me. So let's see how it goes. M-Stacks 85. He does have skills. Absolutely. He does have skill, and he's very tough as well. Don't forget, guys, this is a UK Scottish match, man. It gets crazy sometimes when these type of matches happen. Sometimes in America, we forget about this very distinct rivalry between England and Scotland. It's real. It's very real. All right, guys, round number 1. Both feeling each other out. Both southpaws. 2 southpaws tonight. I forgot that Catterall was a southpaw. Nice. Oh, nice left hand by Catterall. Very nice. Kind of woke up Taylor a little bit. He's like, okay, shit, we fighting now. We're fighting. Catterall reaches again with the left hand. That time, Taylor times it and steps back. And Catterall misses it. But Josh is a little bit, he's a little bit cautious now. Because he sees that, first round in, Catterall is here to fight. Josh Taylor does have the height and reach advantage. He is a very big junior welterweight who could easily fight at welterweight 147. Taylor can, for sure. He's backing up Catterall now a little bit. You can tell he's got that left hand cocked. Oh, got a 1-2. Catterall throws a 1-2. Partially blocked, but it's definitely got in there a little bit. Josh Taylor looks a little bit tight to me. Josh Taylor looks a little bit tight. I don't think it's nerves. I think he's, it's one of those things when you're the guy that's supposed to win the fight and the challenger comes in and punches you in your face, you're like, damn. So it kind of changes your mindset a little bit. And this is where champions are born right here, right? Legends are born in this shit. It's like, what do you do in the face of adversity when you thought you were, the much better fighter coming in, and now all of a sudden the guy's there to fight. So we'll see what Josh Taylor's going to do here. More or less a fill-out round here in the first round. We still got 45 seconds to go. Last 45 here. But I got Catterall winning this first round so far. Oh, Josh Taylor, they're a little bit tied up. A little bit of a wrestling match. Taylor's trying to sneak in some shots. Referee warns Taylor not to hit behind the head. You can. This is what I'm telling you guys, man. The atmosphere is thick in here, man. I'm telling you. Scotland, England, this shit's no joke, bro. No joke. Oh, nice jab by Catterall. Another jab by Catterall. Catterall is out punching and out landing Taylor right now. He is. Last 5 seconds. Taylor looks very tight. He needs to relax. A little bit tight. A little bit overconfident, I think, coming in. And I give that first round of Catterall, yo. I give that first round of Catterall. So that's the end of the first. We'll see what Taylor does, make an adjustment, man. We'll see what he does. I am scoring this fight along the way. I got it 10-9 for Catterall so far. It's early. So if you're a Josh Taylor fan, no need to panic. It happens sometimes at this stage. It's some of the greatest fighters. They come out, sometimes lose 2 or 3 rounds. But a lot of times, man, it's all about getting comfortable. And just like I said, man, you got to blink your eyes a few times and be like, oh, shit, okay, like, the training is over. It's the fight now. So let me get established here and do what I do. So let's see if Josh Taylor does that. 2 southpaws, very interesting as well. You don't see that very often. So that might be a little bit awkward for Josh Taylor, to be honest with you. Perhaps that's it. Perhaps that's what it is. Maybe Taylor has a disadvantage. Maybe Catterall has more experience facing against southpaws. You never know. I'm talking about in the gym. You just never know. So second round coming in. I see more head movement from Taylor now, which is good. A lot of ducking, slipping. Referee warns Josh Taylor again for the back of the head, because what he's doing is Catterall's locking up his right arm, and Josh Taylor's throwing. And as he's throwing, Catterall's turning, and he's clocking Catterall on the back of the head. It's not on purpose, but nonetheless, as a referee, you do got to point that out. Oh, nice body shot by Catterall. Left uppercut to the body. Josh finally gets a nice jab in there. He needs to find a rhythm. Josh Taylor needs to find a rhythm. He looks very rigid, very tight. Nice counter left hand by Catterall. Catterall's fighting very nicely on the back foot. Oh, there comes a counter left by Josh. But Catterall comes right back. Catterall comes right back. Oh, you can tell Josh Taylor really wants to land that big left hand. He's really looking for... Oh! Almost got another left hand in there, Catterall did, but Josh Taylor did shoulder roll a little bit, deflected, took some of that power off that shot. But Catterall, man, he's timing. It's like his game plan is to counter. He's on the back foot, left hand cocked, and pumping the jab when he can, and he's looking to slip something in that Josh Taylor doesn't see. That's what he's doing right now. There you go, Josh. Josh needs to go to the body. Oh, another nice left hand by Josh. Much closer round here in round 2. 45 seconds to go. Oh, nice combination by Taylor. A little bit of a rhythm here to end this round. If he can hold on to it, I'll give him the round. There you go, doubling up the jab by Josh Taylor. Catterall lifts up Josh Taylor's leg. They get into a clinch, and he literally lifts Josh Taylor's leg off the canvas. You know what? All that is, man, is just rivalry, bro. This is just bad. I don't want to say bad blood, but it's like they both fighting for something here. It's more than just belts. It's country. Oh, Josh Taylor loading up a little bit. Catterall on the ropes, trying to shoulder roll it. That's a much, much closer round. I had Catterall winning the first part of the round. It was kind of like a little bit similar to the first round, but then Josh Taylor started picking up a little bit of momentum, and it's a much closer round. I'm going to give Taylor the benefit of the doubt on that round. I'm going to give it to him. I think he landed the harder shots, even though Catterall definitely looked good in spots. But I think that Josh landed the real cleaner shots, especially getting in those body-to-head combinations. And so I have it even so far, 1-1 going into the third round. If you're stopping by, make sure you hit that like button. Let the people know we're in here talking boxing. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and stay a part of the conversation. Very interesting fight so far, which is good, right? As a boxing fan, right? Even if you're a Josh Taylor fan, do you really want Josh to go in there and just beat this dude up like he ain't shit? Probably not. You want to see Josh, be challenged. So far, we're seeing that. So as a boxing fan, you should, especially if you paid for this fight, you should like what you're seeing. So we're in the third round now. I see the clinching and the wrestling starting to increase, which is normal. That tells you that they've both been touched. They've both, are trying to find spots where they can rest. Oh, Josh Taylor really ripping into that body with the left hand now on Catterall. See, this is now this is a test for Catterall now. Had a great first round. Had a pretty decent second round. But you can see Josh, he's got that look on his face, right? He's got that look on his face like, yeah, you thought that you're going to come in here and whoop on me early, but I'm Josh Taylor, bitch. You can see that on his face. So we're gonna see what Catterall does now. Uh-oh. A little headlock by Josh Taylor. You know, they're wrestling around, little headlock, and then as the referee's breaking up, Taylor throws a punch. Catterall had Josh Taylor in a headlock, sorry. And as they broke up, Josh retaliated, and the referee's been busy, man, so far. The referee he's trying, you can tell he's trying to be, fair and not take any points. We'll see if that happens later on down the road. There's some dirty tactics by both fighters. Catterall with the a shoulder barge, I guess you can say, just like barging into Taylor there. So there's definitely some dirty tactics here. Round 3, not much happening. A lot of wrestling. Catterall did land a pretty decent. Oh, nice uppercut by Catterall. Taylor has thrown some good body shots in this round, but nothing huge, nothing significant. Ooh, out of the clinch, Taylor throws a left hand. Catterall stepped back. He felt it. But Catterall does come back with the 1-2. Catterall lifting up his elbow there, too. A little bit dirty by Catterall, man, in my opinion. Popping up that elbow into Taylor's face as Taylor tries to come in. I wouldn't be surprised if a low blow comes in somewhere, man. I don't know. I have that feeling. A low blow or a headbutt or something. It's getting a little bit grimy in there. Last 20 seconds of the third. Kind of a nasty round. Nothing really significant. A lot of wrestling. Some dirty tactics. Josh Taylor got some body shots in. Catterall got a few combinations in. Tough round to score. Not much to go off of. Tough round to score, but I'm gonna give it to Taylor, man, because I feel like he's the aggressor. I think he's trying to fight. He's like, let's fight. Catterall's doing a lot of arm locking, putting up the elbow in the face, a lot of barging in with the shoulder. I feel like I think he feels the heat, and he's not trying to get caught up in an exchange with Josh, which is fine, right? Which is fine if you're trying to survive through the fight, and stay close in the fight in regards to round by round. But I think you give that round away if you're not able to do something effective. My man Imstacks85 says, I was looking at Taylor's resume, but a lot of the fights, but over 1/3 of his 18 fights were versus undefeated fighters, and he stopped most of them. Yeah, some real shit right there. People got to put some respect on Josh Taylor's name, but he's got to get through this one. He's got to get through it. This is a kind of a grimy, tough fight we got going on here. We're in round 4 now. I have Josh Taylor up 2-1. If you're coming in, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Stay part of the conversation. Round 4 now. I feel like Josh is, you guys, if you guys are watching the fight, you guys can see it, right? He's always dipping low, dipping that shoulder in, going to Catterall's height and range. And I understand that when you're the taller fighter, you got to dip down sometimes. Referee calls time again. Referee calls him, I don't want to take points. Fight clean. It's been very, I want to say dirty, but a little bit grimy for sure. Referees broke him up at least 4 times, like pretty much once per every round, because we're barely in round number 4 and the referee has broken him up. A lot of wrestling. Catterall came out that first round that looked very nice, but then I don't know, man. It's turned into a damn wrestling and tough man competition a little bit. If I'm Josh Taylor, you notice how Catterall, if you gotta be able to see it, you gotta be able to time it. Now, when you get Catterall on the ropes, Catterall is always trying to roll that shoulder, right? When he does that, you got to come underneath with that right hook to the body. Taylor calls to the referee that there was a low blow there. It was on the belt line, I think, but I told you guys, man, it's getting increasingly dirtier. Catterall's really using that shoulder roll, staying low, keeping the shoulder high, popping the elbow up. And if you're Josh, you got to start ripping to that body every time. Because Josh is a little bit, he's loading up with his left hand a little bit too much. And to me, it feels like Catterall has done his homework against a fellow southpaw. They're both southpaws. Nice little combo by Catterall there. And Catterall ties him up immediately as Josh Taylor tries to fire back. You can see that Catterall definitely did his homework, man. He's rolling that left hand, and he knew that Josh Taylor, one of his best weapons, is going to be that right hand as well, and he's rolling it very nicely. Josh has got to use his right hand better. It's open. Catterall's very open to that lead right hand by Josh Taylor. And Josh Taylor, he's kind of telegraphing that left hand a little bit too much. I'm going to give that round to Catterall. I have it 2 rounds even. Two rounds to 2. I think it could be. I think it can be like 3 rounds to 1, possibly. Either way. But I got it 2-2. There's nothing really that is really standing out to where you're like, oh, one fighter's really much better than the other, in my opinion. Catterall's went to the body nicely tonight as well. I think Josh has got to do something a little bit different here, man. I think this is where, you're an undisputed champion. You got to show those different layers. A slight headbutt. Referee checks Taylor. He seems okay. What you don't want to see from Taylor is frustration, right? You can see that Catterall's using the elbows, using the shoulders. Now he got hit with the head. There was a little bit of a low shot, belt line shot. And what you don't want to see from Taylor, he starts getting frustrated. You don't want to see that from him because things can go wrong for him, because that's what Catterall wants. Catterall wants Taylor to get out of his comfort zone. It's similar to what Maidana tried to do to Mayweather, right? Just make it dirty. Try to offset Mayweather all the time. Referee warning you all the time. But until a referee takes a point, you just keep doing it. You know what I mean? It's a fight. Ooh, nice 3-punch combination from Catterall. Wow. Another left hand by Catterall. Josh Taylor, he's like falling asleep in there. Catterall literally landed like 4 shots. A 3-punch combination, step back, and then boom, another left hand. Josh Taylor's defense is not as profound as it has been in the past. And I mean, it's either Catterall, we're underestimating Catterall's skills, or Taylor's just not in the right state of mind. A little bit of an exchange here. Last minute, Catterall's definitely winning this round. Josh hasn't done anything in this round, round 4. Round 5. Excuse me, round 5. Yeah, a lot of wrestling. But if you're Catterall, you're okay with all that wrestling, because if you can get off combos and get into a clinch, you're going to sneak away rounds. Taylor's right eye starting to swell up a little bit from those left hands, man. And to me, what I'm starting to see, Josh Taylor does get a nice little right hook in. Oh, excuse me, it was actually a left hook. He actually got it in, and Catterall went to the ropes, but he goes straight to tying him up again. Smart from Catterall. I wonder if the referee's going to warn Catterall from all the holding. Double jab, left hand by Catterall. Wow. I give that to Catterall. That should be an easy round to score for Catterall. He was pumping combinations in there. Very interesting. Round 5 now, man. I got Catterall up 3 rounds to 2. Yep, 3 rounds to 2 going into round 6. We're almost at the halfway point now. My man Imstack says, man, I'm going to have to live bet on Catterall now. Man, it ain't looking good. It ain't looking too good for Josh. I wouldn't say that he's being outclassed or just being destroyed, but as it seems like as the fight goes on, Catterall is getting more and more confident. But I think from the shots that are landed, the thing is Catterall has actually landed much cleaner shots, and Taylor has taken them. You can tell Taylor's got a hell of a chin, but Catterall, he's been hit with some shots, and I think he has the lesser of the chin of the two. So Taylor can literally be losing this fight and end it with one shot, I think. And I'm kind of on my toes a little bit about that. I feel like Josh is, even though he's struggling a little bit, but I think he's still got that one shot power. Andre Ward just made a good point. Josh Taylor is fighting harder, but not smarter. Very good point by Andre Ward, because that's exactly what it is. This whole fight, I think he was a little bit too overconfident. And I'm going to keep saying it and saying it and saying it. It seems to me that Catterall has done his homework when it comes to fighting fellow Southpaws, and Josh Taylor has not. Round 6 now, halfway through the round 6. Josh Taylor did come out and land a big left hand right at the bell as they came out of their corners. But other than that, back in the middle of the ring, not too much action. Oh, nice body shot by Catterall. Left hand to the body. Yeah, Taylor is cut under the right eye now. I think it swelled up, and then now that swelling has now been cut. So now he's bleeding. It is under the eye, so no threat as far as vision is concerned, but blood has been drawn. Oh, nice 1-2 by Catterall. Man. Josh Taylor, what are you going to do, bro? You got to use that right hand more. It's like, the thing is with southpaws, right, is that you can get away with using your left hand all the time against orthodox fighters. You don't have to use your right hand as much. But with southpaws, you got to use your right hand. You got to. And he's just not. Other than the jab, he's not using his right hand. And he's just loading up. He's just loading up with that left hand. Catterall lands another left hand. They tie up, and Josh Taylor shakes his head. He's like, damn, I keep getting touched. Why am I getting touched like this? He keeps getting hit with that left hand. It's like, I'm telling you people, man, Josh Taylor didn't do his homework against southpaws, and that's the end of the round. That's another round for Catterall. I'm telling you, man, more people got to tune into Divine Sense, bro. See, I'm telling you, man, people don't point this shit out. I guarantee you, I guarantee you, people that are commentating on this fight right now, they're like, "Oh my God, Catterall, he's looking good. He might upset Taylor." They keep it a little bit mundane. But I'm telling you guys right now, bro, I know boxing. Josh Taylor came in here overconfident and didn't do his homework for southpaws. If you guys are wondering, if you're just tuning in, it's the end of the 6th round, going into the 7th, and I have Catterall up by 2 rounds going into the 7th. But you can see that, right? It's not a disparity in skills. It is homework. It is preparation. Is what is happening right now. All right, guys, up round 7. Up to round 7 now. Josh Taylor, pretty much at the beginning of every round, Josh Taylor jumps all over Catterall. But to Andre Ward's point, he's fighting harder, not smarter. Andre Ward has to fight a draw at this point, 57-57. Referee warns Catterall this time for locking in the arm, which is a fair warning. He's been doing that a lot. If Josh Taylor ends up turning this fight around or gets a knockout, it's almost a good thing in a way, because it kind of shows where Josh Taylor is in a situation where he could be losing a fight. He's been touched up, and it shows a little bit of, durability, a little bit of heart, a little bit of determination. A lot of headlocking by Catterall, too. That must be really frustrating for Josh Taylor. Elbows, headlocks, arm locks. I don't think Josh is too used to that. In a real fight, maybe in sparring, but not in a real fight. Round 7, if you guys are just tuning in. Andre Ward has the fight a draw. I have Catterall up by 2 rounds. Oh, nice combo by Josh Taylor there. Nice 1-2 by Taylor. Catterall could be getting a little bit tired. He could be getting a little bit tired. A lot of wrestling against, I think, the naturally bigger fighter in Josh Taylor. And you see a little bit of fatigue. His punches are not as sharp, not as crisp. You start getting wear and tear, right? Getting past the middle point of the round. Catterall has done his homework as far as fighting a fellow southpaw. That's apparent. He's done well, but has he done his conditioning? Who's in better shape? It may come down to that. Josh bleeding quite a lot from under that right eye. I told you guys, if you guys are in here right in the beginning, I said that Catterall's tough. He's very, very tough, and he does got skill, and we're seeing it. That's why y'all got to subscribe to Divine Sense. If you want the truth, this is where you got to come. I don't beat around the bush, and I don't bandwagon shit. Last 10 seconds of the 10th round. A lot of wrestling here at the end. I'm going to give that one to Taylor. I think that Catterall did a lot of clinching. He looked a little bit tired. Maybe he took that round off because he did do a lot of work in round 5 and 6. But Josh Taylor looked like he still had some good gas. Trick Box in the building. I appreciate you. M Stacks, I appreciate you, bro. A lot of food for thought, man. That's what I do over here, for sure. Stacy Rubin in the building. That we're at the end of the 7th round, getting ready to go to the 8th round now. Getting ready for the 8th round. For those of you who are watching, but maybe you're just listening to my commentating other than, what the live commentating is here, I appreciate you. Some of you are not watching the fight at all and relying on my commentating entirely. I appreciate you. I have Catterall up by 1 round going into the 8th. Catterall up by 1 round. All right, beginning of the 8th. Josh Taylor. Let's see if Josh Taylor can continue what he did in the 7th. A lot of arm locks by Catterall. Wow. You could tell Josh is really trying to rip out of it as well, which takes a lot of energy. Ooh, down goes Taylor. Down goes Taylor. I think it was a short shot underneath, maybe an uppercut. Flash knockdown. He's up right away. Referee clears the gloves, back in. Josh Taylor, he's a little bit timid now after the knockdown. I don't know how hurt he is. He did pop right back up, but I think, it's an accumulation of damage, man. And Jack's got those shorter arms, and he's just doing better work on the inside. Wow. That really turns the fight, man. Even if you're leaning a little bit more towards Taylor, that hurts Taylor a lot, unless Taylor if he can rebound and get a knockdown himself. As soon as the knockdown happened, not much happening. Jack initially jumped on him a little bit, but I think he felt that Josh has still got his feet. So he kind of backed off now. But now it's Josh going forward again, which is kind of surprising. Then Jack jumps in with like a 4-punch combination, a little bit to the body, a little bit to the head. Some of it was blocked, some of it landed. Back in the middle of the ring. Oh, nice body shots by Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor, he looks upset. He looks upset that he got knocked down. This is becoming a very interesting fight. Oh, another body shot by Josh Taylor. Catterall's leaned over a little bit. I think his body's hurting. Last 10 seconds. Another body shot by Taylor. Another body shot by Taylor. And that is the end of the 8th. Taylor, you got to give Taylor respect the last 45 seconds. He turned it up on Catterall. Maybe he put some water in the basement there at the end to try to rebound. But at the end of the day, you got to give Catterall that 10-8 round. Getting ready for the 9th. Wow. I don't think anybody expected this. Stacy Rubin, man, in there with that super chat says you have great commentary. Well, you have great comments, bro. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you immensely. And for all the people that are still in here that love boxing, you're in here because you love boxing. And that's what I respect about all the people that are in here right now. Razor531 in the building. Good to see you, man. Brown on Boxing. What's good, bro? Yeah, Taylor's in some trouble. Arturo, first time knocked down. Yep. First time for everything. Shit. Let's see. The fight's not over yet, though. Round 9 now. What is Josh going to do? He was just knocked down in the 8th. If you're just joining, what is Josh going to do now? I mean, at this point, if you're Josh, I think it's a little bit too early in the 9th to just unload everything. But you might as well just get a little bit aggressive because, but he's been aggressive the whole fight, to be fair. But I think you got to try to rough him up a little bit, give him a taste of his own medicine, lock him up, get some sneaky little dirty uppercuts in there, and get Catterall. Ooh, nice left hand by Josh. Nice body shot by Josh up on the ropes. Catterall holding on. Will this be a situation where Catterall, he got the knockdown, he's going to try to cruise now? Is he just going to try to cruise to victory? What is Catterall going to do now? Because Josh has jumped all over him here in this ninth. And Catterall is seriously just holding on. Back in the middle of the ring, both of them catching their breath. I think Taylor's catching his breath. I think Taylor here in the next few seconds is going to jump on him again. I can feel it. It's going to come. It's going to come. Catterall coming forward with his head down. Man. Catterall is literally just stealing seconds by doing that. Head down, locking up the arms, just stealing these seconds away. And he's literally not thrown hardly anything in this ninth round. It's been all Josh Taylor just coming forward. Nothing massive has landed, but you can definitely tell that Catterall is just trying to cruise now. He's kind of in cruise mode. Nice step in body shot by Josh Taylor. Now he finally throws the damn. Ooh, another left hand body shot by Josh. Josh has really ripped into the body these last couple rounds. It looks like Catterall's legs are a little bit weak. If I'm Josh, keep going to the body. Rip into the body. Keep ripping to the body. You can tell Jack does not like those body shots. 20 seconds. Ooh, good. Steps in with another body shot. Good body work these last, about 3 minutes. Referee calls time again. How are you going to call time with 10 seconds left? End of the ninth. I'm going to give that to Josh. Definitely the aggressor. Jack didn't do much except for really clinch, hold, try to get out of the way. So let's see what happens, man. We got 3 rounds left. 3 rounds left. I lost track of my scorecard a little bit because of the knockdown. But it could be even now. It could be even now. But anyways, I'll calculate it. If it goes 12, I'll calculate it for you guys and tell you guys what I have. But the fight's getting extremely, extremely close. Yeah, this ref, bro. How you going to break up it's the last 10 seconds of the round? They're both going to, throw some big punches at the end of the round. Why are you going to step in? All right, guys, round 10. Josh Taylor, the pass basically since the knockdown, which happened in the 8th, middle of the 8th, until now the 10th, Josh Taylor has been extremely aggressive. You can see that he knows he could be behind, and Catterall is literally on the back foot, just really on cruise control. And if he continues to do this for the next 3 rounds, Catterall can still lose this fight. He can still lose this fight if he doesn't get a couple more rounds in the bank to secure his victory here. You are going against the undisputed champ, and you are in a building where fans are screaming Josh Taylor's name. You got to get a couple more rounds in the bank if you're Jack Catterall. You can't just say, I got a couple good rounds and I knocked him down, so I'm good. Andre has it a draw right now after 9. I think mine's also a draw. Some rounds might be a little bit different, but I think mine's a draw as well. 1:30 left in the 10th. Wow, Catterall pushing his head down. You got to take a point off. And finally, the referee takes a point away from Catterall. He straight up was like headlocking him and pushing his head down. See, the referee has been very annoying in this fight, but I agree with that. That point, man. I do agree with it. There's been a lot of big headlocks, pulling the head down, grabbing the arms. Oh, Taylor comes in with the right body shot. Sorry for the silence there. The referee, after taking a point, had to break him up again. So they're back in fighting mode again. Oh, nice. Josh Taylor working out of the clinch. The amount of holding by Jack now is crazy, especially after you've already knocked them down. And it's like you knock them down and then you trying to like somehow survive. Oh, nice by Josh there. Little bit of an exchange in the middle of the ring now. Little bit of an exchange. Kind of sloppy from both fighters. Last 10 seconds of the 10th. Step in, body shot by Taylor. Oh, nice uppercut by Taylor. Taylor momentarily goes orthodox. Oh, nice shot at the bell by Taylor. Taylor definitely wins that round. And because there's a point deduction, that's a 10-8 round for Taylor. There's a point deduction there. So that could have put Taylor right back on top going into these last two rounds. Yeah, Catterall, he's getting tired, bro, for sure. He's getting tired. He put a lot of work in those early to middle rounds, and it's starting to tear. It's starting to do the wear and tear. And at the end of the day, he's wrestling and doing all that clinch work against a naturally bigger fighter as well. That's going to take a lot out of you. We're going into round 11 now, championship rounds. Right before the 11th round starts, the referee calls time. There's some blood coming out of Josh Taylor's eye. They put some Vaseline on it, and we're off. Round 11. Championship rounds. This can be one up for Catterall. It can be one up for Taylor. It could be a draw on some people's scorecards. These two rounds are crucial. Who will come out on top in these next two rounds could win the fight. Taylor using the jab. Catterall like literally bouncing around, back on the ropes, not trying to exchange. Like I told you in the last round, Jack continues to do this and not throw punches. He does not have a clear path to victory when you're fighting the undisputed champion in his hometown. You got to put one of these rounds in the bank. A minute gone. Nothing too significant. Still a lot of clinching. If I'm Josh, I would just keep ripping to the body. I feel like Jack really doesn't like it. Go to the body, Josh. Come on, stop headhunting. Jack knows it's coming, bro. Like, oh man, it's frustrating. Taylor he's just telegraphing these big headshots. Taylor, just go to the body, rip. He don't like it. He's gonna drop his hands. You got to be a little bit patient. A little bit patient. Be disciplined. Go to the body. I know you want to get him out of there. You can see a little bit of desperation by Josh. And Catterall is for sure gassed. I mean, the amount of clinching that he's doing right now is nothing but straight up fatigue. If you're Josh, just step across, big body shot, step out, and then just keep doing it. Catterall doesn't have any answer for these body shots, man. Do that. Dedicate that for like a minute and a half in a round. Just nothing but body. And I promise you something in the head will open up. And he's just not doing it. Last 20 seconds of the 11th round. Not a round that you want to see from Josh, to be honest. Some clinch, and then they both go down. They're both clinching. They both fall down into the ropes. Yeah, I mean, Andre Ward and I are both on the same page, man. He's saying that Josh Taylor hasn't made any major adjustments. It's almost like he didn't do much homework on Catterall. He didn't do much homework for Southpaw. He didn't let's say he didn't train hard because he looks like he's in good shape. What? McDonald just took a point from Josh Taylor now. Because I guess Josh, like, after the bell, kind of punched him a little bit in the chest. To me, it was kind of like, hey, good round, and punched him in the chest. Wow. It was kind of like a little short shot to the sternum by Josh at the end of the round. Wow. Wow. Now the referee, bro. Now the referee turns the tide back around again. See, that's the thing, man. That's the thing, man. Referees, they be on that bullshit in these fights, these big fights like this. Last round, y'all. 12th round. 12th round. Super close fight. Jack pretty much on his bicycle now, back to the ropes. You know he just wants to survive this round, and he got a little lucky gift there. He got a lucky point there at the end, man. He took a point away from Josh Taylor for a little love tap to the chest after the round. Despicable. Despicable. Josh Taylor, I don't know, man. He's either got to win this round very convincingly to try to get a draw and keep his belts, or he's got to get a knockout, I think, in my opinion, just based off of being knocked down once and having a point taken away from him there at the end. Because of the point knockdown, I have it a 9-9 round in the 11th round. 12th round, a minute 45 to go. These scorecards, if this ends in a decision, man, or if it goes to the scorecards, the scorecards are gonna be crazy. I'll guarantee you, all three judges, their scorecards are gonna be all over the place. When you have point deductions and stuff like that, and a lot of these rounds very close, very sloppy, a lot of clinching and shit. It's hard to judge. It's hard to score. Minute 15 to go. 12th round, last round. In the middle of the ring now, a little bit of an exchange. Both tired, both fatigued, getting a little bit sloppy. But who's got it? Who's got the heart? Who's got the grit? Who wants it more? Jack Catterall lands a nice little left hand there. Last minute. Here we go. Step in jab to the body by Taylor. Left hand by Taylor. Loads up with another left hand, but Jack ducks it. Right uppercut. Lands for Josh. Josh is winning this round. For sure. Wow, Catterall's clinching is just incredible. He's just, man. Short on the inside. Shots by Catterall there. Lands a 1-2. 20 seconds. What's going to happen here? Any big shots coming? Any big shocking moments? Are we going to see a Wilder Fury moment? Here we go. Last 10 seconds. And that's it. That's the fight. Man, I thought that Taylor won that last round. He was pressing, Catterall holding a lot. He did land a couple little combos, but I don't think he did enough to give him that 12th round. All right, guys. So time for me to do my little calculations here to see what I got. Be prepared for these scorecards to be all over the place, by the way. Oh, shit. I think I might have this a draw. Nope. I got Josh Taylor winning this fight by 1 round, 113, 112. That's how I have it. So let's see what happens, man. I just did my calculations. I have Josh winning this fight 113, 112. These scorecards are going to be crazy. The scorecards are going to be all over the place. Let's see, man. Hometown. I do believe that. So the question for the chat is, because I see my man Stacy, he thinks Catterall pulled it out, which I can't really argue, man. It was that type of fight. But my thing is this, right? We always talk about you got to take it from the champ, right? That's one of the big things that we talk about in boxing. Did Catterall step into enemy territory and do enough to take the belts from the champ? Did he do enough? And at the end of the day, yeah, at the end of the day, I feel like Josh Taylor was a little bit disappointing to some people. I think people expected a lot bigger things, a lot more, more ring IQ, making more adjustments, and he just came in there and just tried to like knock the dude out. I think he did his road work. I think he was in good shape, but I just don't think he did his homework on Jack Catterall. I really don't think he did. He was getting hit with left hands all night from that southpaw position. And it just goes to me, it's a clear tell that Jack it put a lot of study, a lot of work into really dissecting Josh Taylor, and it showed, right? That's why we're here talking about, man, I don't know how this fight will go. It can be a draw or it can be, 1 round up for either fighter. And that goes credit to Jack Catterall, man. Like I said, he did his homework. All right, here comes the decision. Here comes the scorecards. The point deductions makes this tough, man. The referee point deductions. $113, $112, Catterall. First judge. The next judge, 114, 111 for Taylor. Last judge. Split decision victory for. And still, Josh Taylor. Last judge scored at 113, 112 for Josh Taylor. So 113, 112 from the first judge for Catterall. 113, 112 for Josh. And 114, 111 for Josh, which the 114, 111 to me doesn't seem right. 113, 112 either way makes sense. I had it 113, 112 for Taylor as well. But if you had it 113, 112 for Catterall, I can't be mad at you. So there you guys have it, man. There you guys have it. 113, 112, 114, 111, and 113, 112. Split decision victory for Josh Taylor. A1 Hoop Zone in the building. What's good? I see Watcher coming in here. Watcher saying, man, that was a robbery. I think that Josh Taylor put himself in a position in this fight to damn near lose it. He nearly dropped the ball tonight, which to me, we gotta put another poll up. A1 Hoop Zone, I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, I saw Blue Blood going live during the fight as well. I know Southern T as well. But I always go live for big fights. And it was, I got to be honest with you, it was a tough commentary to do for me, considering that it's now 6 a.m., but it was 5 a.m. for me getting up to do this. And I appreciate all the people that tuned in. Oh yeah, no doubt. A1. After this, I'm gonna go and give myself a little nap. Sunday morning for me. Man. So let me put up in the poll, man. Let me put this in the poll real quick on who do you think Josh Taylor can fight next. I mean, now it's like a question like, is he gonna go up to 147? Is he gonna stay at 140? You know what I'm saying? Is there anybody at 135 that it might come up? Because I mean, I'll tell you right now, based off of what I just saw, and everybody was talking about him fighting Bud for the longest time, right? They were talking about him fighting Bud. Not off the performance that I saw tonight. I'll tell you guys right now, if he fought like this, the way he fought against Catterall, against Bud, with all those left hands that Catterall was landing, bro, Josh Taylor going to sleep. Josh Taylor's a tough dude, man. He took some big shots, but let's be real here. Bud, don't get in that. If Bud gets into the southpaw position, because Taylor was exposed tonight against the southpaw stance. He was getting hit with left hands all night. What do you think Bud's going to do to him getting into a southpaw stance? Man. My man A1 Hoop Zone in that super chat. He says a little something to help you get some rest, my guy. $20 super chat, man. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Yeah, a lot of people, man, they forget that I'm on the other side of the world, man. So when I do these live commentaries and stuff like that, it could be potentially super early for me, especially when the fights happen in the UK. It's not so bad when it's in the States. When it's stateside, it's a little bit later in the morning for me. But yeah, man, a bit tough, bro. But it's always a pleasure to be on here and chop it up with you guys and talk boxing. That's what it's all about. So I appreciate you guys immensely, and thank you for that super chat, bro. Much love. Yeah, I mean, I think the talk of 147 needs to be put to rest at this point. I think that he needs a little bit of retribution, a little bit. I'm just listening to what Josh is saying after the fight here. He's complaining about headbutts. He's got that like thick Scottish accent too. Josh is saying that he thinks he put too much pressure on himself, being the heavy favorite. And he said he put too much pressure on him to go and put on a show for his fans. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. He came in, underestimated Jack. Jack did homework. He didn't. And you can tell from the first round, he's coming in there to knock this dude out. His game plan is, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to line up a left hand, and I'm going to get him out of there. And as the fight went on, he's like, damn, like this ain't going to work. And he couldn't make the adjustments because he didn't mentally prepare himself for a plan B, a plan C, or whatever the case may be. See, that's what great fighters do. And I'm not here disrespecting Josh Taylor. I'm keeping it a buck, man. Like, when you look at some of the great champions of all time, right? They get into a fight, you have an initial game plan, and sometimes those game plans get thrown out the window because the fight goes a different way. You got to be able to adjust on the spot, right? You got to make those adjustments. Like, you can't wait, man. You can't wait because then you get in deep waters and then you get into a slug match, and then that means the challenger gets you where he wants you. And Jack had Josh where he wanted him. The only reason why Josh Taylor even had a chance in this fight is because Jack, number one, got gassed. Number two, he didn't do enough work in certain rounds after doing well. Like, Jack wasn't consistent enough, right? There were rounds where he clearly won and outworked Josh Taylor, but then he would take 2 rounds off and just, bounce around the ring and get worried about getting hit with something big and was worried about clinching and wrestling and all that crazy shit. If Jack Catterall was more consistent with his game plan, then guess what? He would have won this fight easily because Josh Taylor was not prepared. He was not. My man Stacy back in that super chat, he says, as a matter of fact, Tank Davis would beat him in 9. He needs to fight Catterall again for redemption. I can't lie, bro. I can't take that as a lie. That's facts. With Tank, man, see, going into this fight, I like Josh, man. And Josh, the funny thing is a lot of people think that, oh no, Josh was only getting love from UK/Scottish fans. Now, he was getting a lot of love from people in the States too, which is something that doesn't happen all the time when it comes to, American fans giving love to UK fans. We have that rivalry, and we both countries think that our fighters are better. But, I've went around YouTube the past several months, and we have a lot of channels out here giving Josh Taylor a lot of love and a lot of credit, and people were expecting big things from him. So I think that's the most disappointing thing here, is that we expected so much more, and now I hate to use the word exposed, but that's pretty much what it is. He wasn't exposed skill-wise, in my opinion. I think the skills are still there, but he was exposed in regards to discipline, right? Like, he fell into that old traditional trap, which is like, oh, I got to go in here and knock the dude out and put on a big show. So game plan out the window, ring IQ out the window, everything that I know and have learned over the course of my career, that doesn't matter. I got to come on here and put on a show. It's a recipe for disaster. And that's why, you don't want to get caught up in that. You know what I mean? You don't want to get caught up in that, especially at this level. You've earned your stripes, and now it's about being smart. You know what I mean? And when you have a fight like this, yeah, You get the Bud Crawford. Now Bud's like, oh shit, like if he still wants it, he can get it. But now Bud is even more confident, right? Tank Davis, any of these big guys at 147, they're like, nah, like, and even Josh himself. So I agree with my man Stacy here. He might have to do a rematch. And to be honest, he needs to beat his ass up badly or knock him out for people to be like, all right, well, maybe the first fight was a fluke. Maybe he, was maybe he was too hard on himself. Maybe that's what it is, man. Hey, shout out to my man Stacy, man, for another super chat. I appreciate you, bro. Got my man Kenneth Johnson in the building, giving me that 10 dub, supporting your grind, man. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, definitely grinding out here. The sun is not even out right now. So definitely grinding out here, man. But like I said, man, it's definitely a pleasure to be with you guys. Yeah, so what I want to do now is I want to take a look, man, because all this talk about and when people were fighting about Bud and Earl Spence, right, for the longest time, a lot of people were saying, well, if he's not going to fight Bud, it's cool. Maybe he should just go and fight Josh Taylor. So to me personally, it makes the Bud and the winner of Earl Spence and Ugas even more appealing now, because I think Josh Taylor needs to be off the table at this point. And I hate to say that because it would have been a second best option for me personally. Like if Ugas and Spence end up, whoever wins that fight ends up going doing something else and the Bud fight doesn't happen, at least you have Josh Taylor there. If you witnessed Josh Taylor putting on a phenomenal performance tonight, then it would have been a good, I guess, second option, a very good second option for Bud and Josh Taylor to fight for all these belts. But now it puts Bud in a position to where he really ain't got much of a choice but to fight the winner of Spence and Ugas now at this point. I think Josh Taylor's off the table. Now let's look real quickly at 140. At 140, there's nobody there really, right? There's nobody there for Josh to fight. And I agree with Stacy. I think at this point you got to go ahead and get that rematch in because C Wood, what's up? Teach, what's up? You got to go ahead and get redemption, bro. You got to get that sour taste out of people's mouths. And Jack, he's definitely going into that locker room tonight thinking that he won that fight. I guarantee you that. He's definitely thinking that he won that fight. So let's talk about it. If Josh says, you know what, man, I'm gonna sneak up out of here, take this victory. I don't want no part of Jack Catterall again. Well, who else is there for him to fight though? And I honestly believe that, what I'm saying, he's gotta get redemption, bro. He really does. He really does. And I don't always like rematches, but at the end of the day, sometimes they're needed. Sometimes they're needed, man. But champions do this shit all the time. They get into a close fight, they get that split, or they get that majority decision, or they get a draw, and they roll up out of there. I mean, I think if the fight was a draw, Josh Taylor would have no choice. Kind of like, Wilder Fury, right? When they had a draw, it pretty much forced the rematch. It's like you can't, especially at this level, you can't just leave the fans with the draw because there's no winner. But the fact that he got that split decision, and I think one judge had it 114, 111. Like, talk about egregious, bro. I don't know how you get 114, 111 for Josh Taylor. I just don't. And I had Josh Taylor winning the fight, by the way. I had him winning. I had him up 113, 112. But if you had it 113, 112 for Catterall, I ain't mad at you. But 114, 111 for Josh Taylor, I don't know where you're getting that. That's a lot of home cooking right there. Because let's not forget the point deductions, and let's also not forget Josh Taylor was knocked down in this fight. Josh Taylor was knocked down in this fight too. So I don't know. The 114, 111 is egregious at best, man. But look, this is 140 right here. There ain't nothing at 140 that is appealing, in my opinion. Maybe Jose Ramirez, but I just don't see it, man. That's why a lot of people were talking about this division right here. But I'm telling people, man, 147 is a nightmare for Josh Taylor. Who could Josh beat? Real talk. Out of this list right here, who could Josh beat? Could he beat Bud? Imagine Bud, I was saying earlier, imagine Bud getting into that southpaw position. Josh Taylor had major problems with the southpaw tonight. And I was saying during the commentary, a lot of people are jumping in here after the fact. And I appreciate you. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the way in, by the way, bro. Hit that like button on the way in. That should be automatic. I know a lot of you guys were up on Blue Blood and other channels out here. But look, man, for those of you who were in here from the very beginning, I was telling people like, yo, Josh Taylor didn't do his homework tonight with the southpaw position. He was getting smacked up by that left hand all night. Look at his right eye. That's why his right eye's all busted. Right? And he's trying to say it's uppercuts. He's saying headbutts. Ain't no damn headbutts. You were getting smacked up by a left hand, bro. What do you think Bud's going to do to you? What do you think Bud's going to do to you in the southpaw position? So the question is, could he beat Bud? No. Not based off what I saw tonight. He ain't beating Bud. He ain't beating Earl Spence. He's not beating Ugas. I don't even know if he beats Ennis at this point. Or Ortiz. I don't think he beats Keith Thurman either at this point. I don't even think he beats Stanionis either. My boy Stanionis, bro, he ain't no joke, bro. This guy right here, he's number 7 for a reason. My man Stormy B-Man said it perfectly. This guy right here, Stanionis, this is like a modern day not Jack Dempsey, Jake LaMotta. Literally. This dude is in your chest constantly. You think you had problems on the inside against Jack Catterall? What do you think Stanionis is going to do to you? Bro. And I hate to, this top 7 right here. I think Josh would be able to handle maybe these 3 at the bottom. And yes, Connor Benn too. I think Josh Taylor could be able to, I think he'd be able to handle Connor Benn, to be honest with you. And I know my man Southern T, he probably won't agree with that. But this top 7 for sure. Based off of what I saw tonight, Josh Taylor don't want none of these people right here. None of them. So that's why my man Stacy said, yo, we got to have a rematch. And I agree. Now let's take another look at 135 real quick. Where we at with 135? So 135, here we go. Even at 135, does Josh beat George? Does he beat Teofimo? Does he beat Lomachenko? Does he beat Haney? Does he beat Davis? Does he beat Garcia? I don't think that Josh will go down to 135. But some of these dudes might move up, though, at some point. So this is what happens, though, right? This is what happens in boxing sometimes where, you know what I mean? Like, you get to a certain level, you can be a champion, you can win all belts, you can look good, people will praise your name, people will build you up, but eventually you're going to get into a position where you're going to have to face the music. You feel what I'm saying? You're going to have to face the music. And right now, Josh Taylor, he's facing the music. He got the praise. He got the accreditation. They built him up. He got the belts. He's from Scotland. He's got a nice story. He's the underdog. Da-da-da-da-da. Look good. he's got a good resume, but now he's facing the music. So what are you going to do now, Josh? Now it's like you had a lackluster performance. Yeah, you got the victory. When the history books are written, you got the victory. A lot of people are not going to agree with it. But okay, are you going to avenge this? How can I put this? Avenge this loss in a lot of people's eyes. Officially, you didn't lose, but I guarantee you, when you go back, when you cruise through London, okay, not Edinburgh where you're from in Scotland, but in London, I guarantee you, people thought that you lost this fight. So, are you gonna clean that up, or are you gonna you're gonna try to take a chunk out of 147? Because there ain't nothing for you at 140, except for this rematch right here, in my opinion. So you're gonna take a chunk out of 147? You're gonna put all those belts on the line? Are you gonna vacate the belts? What are you gonna do? So, like I said, man, he's now facing the music. My man, Town Business in the building. What's good, bro? My man says Josh Taylor looked very pedestrian. I thought he lost the fight. That's my man, Town Business, man. If y'all ain't subscribed, y'all come over there and check out my man, Town Business. Talks about not only boxing, but a lot of different things, a lot of different sports. That's one of my original and loyal supporters for many, many years, my man, Town Business. Oh, for sure. The best word that I can use for Josh Taylor's performance tonight is lackluster. I'm not going to go as far as saying he looked terrible or Jack was better than him. It was lackluster, bro. He didn't prepare for Jack. I'm not saying conditioning wise. I'm talking about strategically wise. Like, he didn't prepare for Jack at all. And that's a huge, huge blemish at this level, bro. Like, you putting all your belts on the line and you thought you're going to go in there and knock this dude out. That's what you thought. And Jack, you know what Jack was doing? Jack Catterall was in the workshop studying your ass. And you can tell that shit, man. He was studying Josh Taylor. And you can see how he was his whole defense. If y'all seen Jack Catterall's fights before, he doesn't normally fight like that. Jack Catterall's got skill. He got some skills and shit like that, but he never fought like this. The way he fought tonight, that shit was planned from the get-go. And they both had plenty of time to prepare for this fight. It wasn't like, late notice and, Jack just stepped in there. No, Jack had time to prepare, and you can tell. And, another thing is that I didn't see Josh Taylor use the right hand. I was here commentating the entire fight live, and I kept screaming, like, bro, why aren't you using your lead right hand? You just keep telegraphing your left hand. And you can tell Catterall was like, oh, yep, I'm going to just keep ducking underneath. And when you throw that left hand, I'm going to pull you in. I'm going to clinch you. And sure, Catterall was arm locking, head locking, shoulder barging, getting his head up in there. He's a shorter fighter. Do you think that was on accident? Nah, that shit was premeditated, bro. That shit was premeditated. He planned all of that. He put the sparring in against taller, rangier fighters, working on his inside game. And the referee was engaged all night. He had a tough job on his hands. And quite frankly, probably too much involved, to be honest with you. But that stuff was all premeditated, man, by Jack Catterall tonight. And Josh Taylor didn't have an answer for it. He really didn't. And like I said before, the only reason why Josh Taylor was even in a position to get the nod is because Jack Catterall wasn't consistent enough. You understand what I'm saying? He wasn't consistent enough. Like right here on my scorecard, right here. I got my scorecard right here, so y'all know I ain't bullshitting. I had Catterall right here, 4, 5, and 6. He won in a row. I had Catterall winning 4, 5, 6, bop, bop, bop. Right? If he would have kept that up, And I gave him round 8 too, because round 8 was when he got the knockdown. But imagine this shit. If he won 4, 5, 6, 7, knocked down in 8, and then he wins 9, that's it. That's game over. That's game over right there. Now, some of you may have given him 7. Some of you may have given him 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I didn't. I gave Taylor 7. But for me, the round where Catterall lost a fight is Catterall took his foot off the gas in that 9th round. You knocked down Taylor in the 8th, so you know Taylor's going to come out in the 9th and try to redeem himself. He ain't got no choice. It's a close fight. He just suffered a knockdown, and Catterall like went into survival mode for whatever weird reason, because Josh Taylor was trying to smother him, and so he drops that round. Then in round 10, it was a 10-8 round for Taylor because of the point deduction. That's a 3-point swing right there. I don't see how anybody could give Catterall round 9, because Catterall knocked him down in 8. Josh Taylor got upset and jumped all over Catterall, and Catterall went into survival mode and went into the clinch. You can't give Catterall 9. You just can't. So the problem is he loses 9, and then 10 was the point deduction against Catterall for pushing his head down. That's, the referee took a point away from pushing his head down. Rather you agree or disagree, that's a 3-point swing right there. So those rounds where he won 4, 5, 6 straight, right, that I have on my scorecards, those were alleviated because that 3-round swing of 9 and 10, 9 him losing the round and then 10 being the point deduction. See, so that's what happens. It's about consistency. If you're Jack, you got the man hurt in 8. He can't do shit with you on the inside. So if I'm in Jack Catterall's corner, I'm telling him like, yo, he can't handle you on the inside. The short little uppercuts, that's how we knocked Josh Taylor down, by the way, was a flash knockdown. I think it was like a short left uppercut on the inside. So he can't handle you. Just stay in his chest, working the body, But I think Catterall got a little bit tired too. I think he got a little bit tired. Yeah, my man Town Business just pointed out right here. Well, he doesn't have to fight him again because there's no rematch clause. Well, there you go, guys. People thought this fight was so one-sided that they didn't even put a rematch clause in it. That's crazy. So what is it now? So it's 147 now? Well, man, I'm telling you guys. So I'm gonna put in the poll before I get up out of here, man. It's super early for me, so I gotta get myself. I gotta go back to bed, man. But I do want to put this poll in here real quickly. If you guys haven't hit that like button, make sure you guys do it, man. That should be automatic. Get this likes all the way up to 50. I don't know how we don't have at least 50 likes up in here. But look, let me put this in here. What should Josh Taylor do next? Right? And let's see what you all think about it and vote in this poll before I get up out of here. I'm going to put rematch Catterall immediately, or should he go to 147? Stay at 140? Or wait for a challenger from 135? So the poll is up here now. Go ahead and vote in that poll. Let the people know what you think. Jay Smooth in the building, bro. What's good? But did you guys notice every time, like literally In the southpaw, my man Rojai, by the way, is a southpaw, so he knows what's popping. But if you look at Josh Taylor tonight, right? He's in that southpaw position, and he has his lead right hand a little bit away from his face, right? And he's ducking underneath, and he's got that left hand cocked the whole time, and you can tell, right? And when you do boxing, right, when you learn from a young age, well, you can learn it later in age, don't matter, but it's definitely something you learn when you're younger. Is that it comes from the shoulder, right? The punches come from the shoulder. You don't look at a guy's hands, right? Because they can feint you. They can just, your hands will move, right? It's like when you play basketball, when you play defense. They tell you, don't watch the ball, you watch the man's hips, right? Because wherever the hips go, you can keep in front of those hips, right? It's the same thing in boxing. It's the shoulders. Even in boxing, you can rotate hips and use that with feints. But here's the thing, right? So he's got that left hand cocked. And then so he's got that lead right hand out here. And he's not hooking off it. He's not stepping in, going into the body with the right hand, hardly at all. And what he does is he dips underneath and he moves that right shoulder because he's loading up with it. He loads up with that right shoulder. And every time he does that, what does Catterall do, right? Catterall, he goes in. He ducks underneath. He ducks underneath every time. He's watching that shoulder, and he's watching for that load up. And once he does, he rolls it. He steps in. He clinches. He grabs that arm. He locks it in. That's what he was doing all night. So what do you do if you're Josh Taylor, right? Simple. Oh, he's watching my left hand now. So you feint with that left. You dip to the side, right to the body, right to the head. Jab, right? And it was open all night, right? So Josh Taylor didn't make these adjustments, which we expected him to make, right? If your game plan was you think, oh, I think the left hand's going to be open, by round like 4, you know that Catterall's looking to dip, step in, uppercut, clinch. Uppercut to the body, clinch. That's what he did. And Josh Taylor did nothing. He did nothing to evade that in the fight. But it was you got the reach advantage, right? So if you read that and say, oh, he's watching my left hand, and you feint, and like I said, you step over, you can still lean in with that left shoulder a little bit to make him think that you're going to try to loop something over the top. But you step under, bam, right hand to the body. Then you come up, right? You lift up off the floor because you're the taller fighter. You dip down to land the body shot, but then you come up, boom, right hand over the top. Then maybe that left uppercut is there. But this was Josh Taylor tonight. Jab, jab, load up with the left hand. Jab, dip underneath, load up with the left hand. That was Josh Taylor tonight. Is that what we expect from an undisputed champion? That's my question. Yeah. My man right here, my man Rojai right here. Fellow Southpaw himself. I've told you guys, and I preached this shit for years, that the right hand from a Southpaw fighter is one of your most lethal weapons. And that's exactly why I keep telling everybody, everybody out there who's sleeping on Earl Spence, y'all about to find out against Ugas. Just wait. Because one of Spence's best weapons is he knows how to use his right hand, man, as a southpaw. And not only that, he knows how to hide his left hand. He knows how to keep it cocked. He knows when to shoot it. He doesn't telegraph it. He doesn't lean forward before he throws the left hand, right? And he keeps that. The thing about Earl is he keeps that small target, right? So he's like this, and he steps forward, and he comes in, and he works that right hand, right? So the left hand is way back here. His left hand's way back here, right? So it's out of your peripheral vision. And then all of a sudden, he rips to the body with that left hand, comes up over the top. So Y'all just wait, man. Y'all wait until I get into my breakdown of Spence Ugas, and I'm. It's no foreshadowing because Ugas is no slouch, and it's going to be a great fight. But I'm telling you, just wait for it, man. Let's get those likes all the way up to 50 before I get up out of here. All right, let's see. We got the poll out, so people are voting in the poll. I mean, naturally, everybody's saying he needs a rematch immediately. We have a few people say to go to 147. Some people saying wait for a challenger for 135. Maybe some people do want the Tank Davis fight. Yeah, I mean, like literally though, like no feints, no savviness, uh, no traps from Josh Taylor tonight. Is come forward, load up with the left hand, and when you're starting to lose the fight, you know you're losing. I mean, you get dropped in the 8th. But I put some of the blame on the corner too. I wasn't able to listen into what the corner was saying, but the corner's got to tell Josh like, "Yo, okay, look, let's be honest here. We thought we were gonna knock him out. We thought he ain't shit, but obviously he's in here to try to take the belts from you, bro. So what are you gonna do about that? You're gonna step to the side and work that right hand. Now we're gonna force Jack to make adjustments. Now, because that's boxing, right? It's a chess match. It's a thinking man's game. And like Roger Mayweather has said, most of y'all don't know shit about boxing. It's a thinking man's game at the end of the day. And Josh Taylor didn't want to think tonight. And I don't know if it was because he wanted to impress his fans. He felt like he had to get a knockout. You don't have to get a knockout, but you got to perform well. Because now, how does that make you look when people were putting you alongside names like Bud Crawford? It's like, yeah, well, unless you want to lose all those belts and get knocked the hell out, be my guest. Because based off of what I saw tonight, bro, it's a wrap. Straight up and down. So you gotta have us hit the reset button on you. Because your rocket is launched. You're in space right now. Like, you're irrelevant at this point. You're not on Earth. Like, you have launched yourself out of the atmosphere. You are floating somewhere on the cusp of the Earth because of your performance tonight. You got to come back down to reality and prove yourself. And I hate to say that about an undisputed champion. And that's what I was saying earlier, how, it's not like, because, UK fans always accuse Americans for not supporting UK fighters. It happens. I ain't going to lie to you. It does happen. But not in the case of Josh Taylor, bro. Before the fight happened, Andre Ward and Tim Bradley was giving high praise. As a matter of fact, Tim Bradley and Andre Ward said that he thought Josh Taylor was going to knock out Catterall before 6. Before 6. And here on YouTube, I heard multiple people talking about how they like Josh, and Josh is a threat, and they're giving a lot of love and respect to Josh Taylor right here on YouTube from American content creators. So it's not like we were waiting for his downfall. We were waiting to see what else he can bring to the table, and maybe we can get like a super mega matchup and put a bunch of belts on the line against someone like Bud Crawford. Like, we were ready for that. We were wanting that. We were, a lot of us were expecting that. So I don't want to hear no bullshit from anybody. And any Josh Taylor fans out there crying right now, well, cry for your boy, because lackluster tonight. That's the word right there. I should put that on text across the damn screen. Lackluster tonight. Not about he got outskilled. Not about he doesn't have. We've seen him pull a lot of tools out of the bag. We know he's got skill, but tonight was lackluster, and it is what it is. So, um, we just have to accept it. We just have to accept as boxing fans, and especially for Josh Taylor fans. My man said he laid an egg. Simply put, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is, and it happens. It happens, but this is. I'll tell you what doesn't happen though. I'll tell you what doesn't happen. Does it happen at this level? Sure, it does happen. But I don't want to hear anybody putting his name alongside some of the all-time greats. The all-time greats ain't looking like this against no damn Jack Catterall. I'll tell you that. In your hometown, that ain't going to happen. I would be less. I'll put it to you this way. I would be less surprised if Josh Taylor went in there and did what we expected him to do, which was look good based off of all the skills that he does have, and then somehow he gets hit with the shot he didn't see and gets knocked out. Because then you're like, well, damn, that happens, right? That can happen to anybody. But the way he performed tonight and just he was being outpunched, outworked, outboxed at times, being outthought, that's something that I can't accept. Why I can't say, well, that's supposed to be the undisputed champion right there. And I say that straight from the bottom of my heart. If he came out there and was whooping Jack Catterall's ass all over the ring, doing what we expected him to do, and he got caught with something he didn't see and got knocked out, I can say that can happen to anybody. Get him back in the ring, and he can avenge himself easily, right? He'll learn from that mistake. But that's not what happened tonight. That's not what happened tonight. And yeah, Rojai, he got to stay away, man. He did not look. He looked terrible against a fellow southpaw tonight. Terrible. And I had forgotten that Catterall was a southpaw. When as soon as the fight started, I was like, damn, Catterall is a southpaw. Okay. And we've seen Josh Taylor do amazingly well against orthodox fighters, man. And a lot of that is, did you really prep though? Did you really put your sparring rounds in against other southpaws, or are you in there just bullshitting around? I don't know. But when you get hit with the left hand like that constantly and have no reply, and just like, man, it just really makes you wonder, like, what were you doing in preparation? It's like he was just doing his road work, doing his bag work, cruising along, counting down the days, and not taking this shit serious. Well, guess what, people? That's why we say you don't play boxing. It ain't a game. And Jack Catterall coming in there, he coming in there and try to pull an upset. That's the only thing on his mind. He wasn't worried about the crowd or nothing. Jack didn't look nervous to me. He looked ready. It's like, you know how when you do homework before a big test and you study your ass off. When you step into that classroom to take that test, you're going to feel confident. Like I put all the work in, and as soon as you get that first question on the paper, you're like, yep, I know that. You get to question number 10. You're like, yep. You start filling in those bubbles. You feeling good because you put the work in. We've all been there. Shit. I wasn't a great student. I was too busy bullshitting around in school. So a lot of times for me, I take tests. I was like, God damn, I didn't study for this shit. Shit. Okay. This is going to be a tough one. I'm going to have to pull something out of the bag. But you don't want to be in that position because now you're hoping. That's why preparation is key. But look, man, it's super early for me. I've been up since 5 a.m. It's been good. It's been a pleasure chopping it up with you guys, man. I promised you guys that I was going to do live commentating for the fight. And I'm a man of my word. I wanted to do it. My bed was definitely very comfortable this morning, but I rolled up out of that bitch and got my coffee and I knocked it out for you guys, man. So for those of you who were in here from the very beginning, I appreciate you. I would imagine a lot of you guys are probably skipping around, showing love to other channels. But it's all good, man. At the end of the day, I did my work. I put my work in here for all the people, especially for all of those official members of the channel who make those monthly donations to the channel. This is for you guys and for everybody who appreciates my commentary, man. So we're coming up to the end of February now, only a few days left in the month. And so now it's kind of like changing gears and getting ready to talk about some other fights, man. Just real quickly, let me pull this up on the board here. We can all take a look at the upcoming schedule. I'll let you guys know right now so you guys can kind of mentally prepare and know which fights I will live commentate. We do have a lot of fights coming up, but let me go ahead and blow this up a little bit. So here's the schedule. Make it a little bit bigger for you guys. Here's the schedule. I will let you guys know which one I will be. This Okoli Kisielak fight is a pretty big one, but I don't think I'll commentate that one. Maybe a post fight for that. Let's see what else we got here. The Jose Ramirez, Jose Prazada fight, probably a post fight on that one. We got Roman Gonzalez for the bantamweights with Julio Cesar Martinez. Probably post fight. Looks like I got Marcos Maidana's fighting. Shit. Marcos Maidana? They got a fight in Dubai on March 5th. Middleweight. Marcos Maidana's a damn middleweight now. There was a time where that dude used to fight at 140. We'll see what else we got in March. A lot of fights in the UK, man, in March, bro. A lot of UK fighters fighting. Looks like on March 19th, we got Virgil Ortiz fighting Michael McKinson. So Virgil Ortiz is fighting Michael McKinson. I might do that one. I might commentate for that one. Let's see what else we got. Kiko Martinez and Josh Warrington. Probably not. Ryan Garcia and Emmanuel. I don't even know how you pronounce that. Tagoy. But anyway, Ryan Garcia is finally back after a 50-year layoff. But nonetheless, I will laugh my white ass off if he goes against this guy who I can't even pronounce his last name correctly and gets knocked the fuck out. That would be epic. So with that being said, I would probably commentate that fight. Then, of course, y'all know what it is, man. On April 16th, we got Spence and Ugas. Definitely will be commentating that fight. There ain't no doubt about that. And then April 23rd, we have Fury, Dillian White. Definitely will commentate that one. And then we have Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano on April 30th. I'm going to try to commentate that one. So you guys are guaranteed 3 live commentary fights that I'll do in April for sure. In March, maybe not so much. April 30th, we have Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. So a lot of you guys are going to get at least 4, maybe 5 live commentary fights from me in April. April looks like a very healthy month for boxing. March, I'll be in the States. So for March, it might just be me collaborating with other people and not doing too much live stuff. So we'll have to see. But anyways, I just want to give you guys a heads up on what I plan for the channel going forward. So that's what it is, man. Like I said, I appreciate you guys all stopping in tonight, man. Much love and appreciation. I apologize, man. I'm so tired right now. Stay strong, stay positive, and y'all stay up out there, man. And I am coming back next month here in a couple weeks. and I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, I can catch up with some of you guys, man. If you guys are not following me on Instagram, make sure you guys do, because it'll probably be on Instagram where I'll going to be updating you guys where I am stateside and what my route is and where I'm going next and things like that. So if you're not following me on the gram, just at Divine Sense Boxing, make sure you guys follow me there, and keep an eye on what I'm doing when I'm stateside. So other than that, also this is real exclusive, just real quick. I was just in contact with Dante's Boxing Nation. He's also in Thailand. He's in another city about an hour and a half away from me. And there's a pretty good possibility before I come stateside, I'm going to link up with him and we're going to collaborate and do something. But so that's kind of like secretive, man. For that's a little, all the people that kind of stayed in here at the end of the live stream, that's something special for you guys to be looking forward to. So looking forward to that. So y'all stay up, man. I'm out. Peace.